What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy King 053, Mr. Easy Imali Enengi, and we're back at it again with another one. Thank you for tuning in on my podcast, King Said So, the number one podcast in Africa. Now we're pushing, guys. Listen, I want to touch quickly on this thing of Western Cape independence, self-determined Western Cape. I want us to quickly divulge in this thing of the Western Cape and what is it that is actually happening in the Western Cape so that you and I can wake up into the African agenda. Because what is happening in the Western Cape, to me, it's bringing so many, it's turning on so many lights. But most people are not seeing this. The white racist head has shown itself once again. The Western Cape, seeing that they cannot outvote, they cannot vote ANC out of power. They then want to say, listen, can we, the Western Cape, just be an independent province from the rest of South Africa? We want to run everything ourselves. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't want democracy, because democracy says, listen, if you want to run for president, you have to get X amount of votes. If you get 50 plus 1%, you win the national elections. The white people see that they cannot win on the ballot paper, just like what they did in the history. Now they want other means to take power, of which in South Africa is not going to happen, but we'll never know. The South African politics are so unpredictable. You'll never know what will happen. South Africa has allowed Kleinfontein, which is a white-only town in South Africa. South Africa politics has allowed Orania, which is a white-only town in South Africa. So you'll never know. Excuse me, guys. I'm catching a flu, so I have to drink my ginger a little bit so that my throat can be clear. Okay. So let's just listen to this white man and listen to what he says about voting the ANC out.
Especially in the Cape Flats and in the townships. Mr. Craig's attitude is that we are black people in this particular province are a party to white privilege.
Mr. Craig?
Well, look, I think two things. First of all come back to Oscar. Let's be absolutely clear, because this is one of these things that's often offered up, and it's complete nonsense. So to say to the people of the Western Cape, you don't like the national government voted out, is completely nonsensical. We never voted it in. For 30 years, the majority of people in the Western Cape have voted against that national government. We didn't vote it in, and we can't vote it out. That is the whole point. We've been trying for 30 years to vote it out, and we can't. So that's why I want self-determination.
You heard it for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. The white people are saying for 30 years we've been trying to vote the ANC out and we can't. Why? Because our numbers are too little. And the Freedom Front and the DA, the Freedom Front is the one that are applying for this notion that the Western Cape must be in an independent, self-determined province. Pure rubbish. And they can see quite clearly that Gayton Mackenzie's patriotic alliance is giving them problems. You must remember, in the Western Cape, we're looking at a different dynamic from other provinces. We're looking at black people, about 38% of the population. White people, colored people, about 42%. And whites are 15%. Then we've got Indians and others. I don't know what is others. Indians and Chinese and others. So I'm saying to you guys, they can see, yes, Gayton Mackenzie and Onsa Khatyo. Gayton Mackenzie is taking a lot of colored people, and the colored people, apparently they're the majority. I'm not sure if I believe that, but it's fine. The stats are saying that. Apparently they're the majority in Western Cape. Gayton Mackenzie has already taken a chunk of that. We're going to see that in the national elections 2024, that the DA and the Freedom Front simply does not carry that power that they used to carry. If they couldn't vote ANC out from 1994 to 2024, What can they do now? Because our democracy in our countries allowed other parties to grow and flourish, such as the PA. Never mind the Good Party and other parties that have also stolen the colored vote from the Freedom Front and the DA. Africans, we need to unite. White people, what they want is separation from others. Coloreds, the Freedom Front is using you guys. The DA is using you guys just to get in power. Once they get in power, they will do what is best for their people. They don't want this thing of international, multiracial, multi-tradition. They don't want to mix with you people. What they want is self-determination. And self-determination does not mean that you have to chase other people out, you know. Let's listen to this old fat of the Freedom Front when he speaks about the history of Africa. He thinks he can now teach us the history of the Western Cape. Just listen to this old fat.
Economic, racial, and value lines, if you will.
Well, that's quite a simple, expected question, because people still think every time when they lose a debate, they pull out a race card, race, apartheid, race. We're tired of that. Let's face the facts. The first people here in the Western Cape were the Khoi and the San and the Griqua. That is Straubenhager's report, Special Rapporteur of the United Nations. In his report in 2007, he came to South Africa and reported back to the UNO that the Khoi and the Griqua and the San, they are indigenous to the Cape and they are the First Nation. And after them came the Portuguese to the Cape. And then came the Dutch to the Cape, 1652. And then came 1820 and the British settlers. And then the Malaysian slaves were imported. And the French came here and taught us winemaking. And then the Xhosa people moved down to the Cape. And we became a cosmopolitan people. All nations mixing, intermixing. And from there came a new type of people they call colored. We are all together. We consider to be people of the Western Cape. It's not a race issue. We just have a different, shall I say, outlook on life than the rest of South Africa. We're distinct from them. Our language is mostly Afrikaans, about 70%, and we don't lean towards communism or socialism.
Just listen to this old colored, old fat talking, trying to educate us about the history of South Africa, trying to suggest that the colonizers came into Africa, in South Africa, specifically Western Cape, before the Xhosa people were there. And I would like to fix this rubbish of isolating the Khoisan from the rest of Africa. I stay in Northern Cape. I stay with Khoisan people. I know my Khoisan people. I know my Nama people. I know my San people. Listen, these are black people. Why are we trying to put Khoisan as if they are not part of the black family? Khoisan people are black people. I see South Africans are getting this mixed up all the time. The Khoi are the first indigenous people of Northern Cape and Western Cape. That is their side, close to the coastal areas. But we must never ever. That's why I don't respect the ANC government anymore. When they came into power, they isolated the Khoisan from the 11 official languages till today. The Khois are still fighting for them to be recognized as the indigenous people of South Africa. The Khoisan people are black people. I can show you pictures of those people. And colored people, for those who don't know, colored people, you are black people also. Ask Trevor Noah. Ask any other colored person who has left South Africa and went overseas. You are considered as black. They don't know what the hell is colored. It's a term that we created here to make you guys feel better because you don't want to identify as black. Colored people are black people. black people that derive from white people raping black people. Then you get a mixed race. That's what colors are. That's the origin, that's the genesis of colored people. They know. That's why if you follow them, their bloodline carefully, you'll find Xhosa people, you'll find Khoisan people. That is how the colored people were made. And I'm sorry if it offends. Well, I'm not sorry, but that's the truth. I don't want to offend anyone, but you people must stop running away from the truth. Like this old fat here who's trying to tell us that the Western Cape government, the Western Cape people are different. They are different from what? Just listen to this old fat. My goodness.
Where wealth is created, the Western Cape's people are totally different. Our behavior patterns is different. There's a lot of customs, and I don't look down on anybody's culture or language, but we are distinctly different. Anybody will tell you that.
So isn't this ironic in that you talk about a cosmopolitan people, and then you also criticize the differences, or you suggest that you do not want to embrace the differences of other South Africans?
You hear that? Now we have an issue that he's quoting this article, is it 325? The self-determination. Self-determination does not mean self-independent. Self-determination is people who are in a particular area with the same cultural beliefs, with the same spiritual beliefs, and the same outlook in life can self-determine what they like and how they can run their place. But remember, at the end, it's decided by national legislature, meaning you cannot operate outside the boundaries of the laws of the country. And Western Cape is not that province that has the same faith belief, the same language, the same everything. Western Cape is very much divided. The colors are taking their own direction. The Xhosa people are taking their own direction. And the whites are always on this agenda that they want to be alone. They don't want to be with the rest of the African country. They don't want to be with the rest of the country, the South African country. So that's the type of nonsense that they are doing. And you find yourself trying to explain to these people that legislature and acts are up for interpretation because they are vast in terms of, the English language has got a very, it's limited, the English language, with only 24 letters. You can't compare it to, for example, the Xhosa language and the Khoisan language that has over 300 clicks, different clicks, Xhosa, I think, is in the regions of the 150 clicks when they studied that language. And the Khoisan, they clicking like nobody's business. So don't take that article and try to throw it in our face to say that you want to be self-determined. No, you have a right to be self-determined, but you have absolutely no right to be independent from the rest of the country. White people are just sick and tired. They see what is coming. They see the Red Beret army coming. They see the ANC losing power. And they know, Jesus, with this Red Beret army coming, we're not going to have a space. White people left South Africa when Mandela was elected as president. Left. When Thabo Mbeki was elected president, the economy was doing very well. They left South Africa. When Zuma got elected, they lost their mind. They ran to Australia, Canada, and everywhere. Cyril Ramaphosa, when he was elected, there were white people that left. But I've got news for them. 2024 is bringing a change that they are not ready for. We as Africans must unite. Never, ever, ever in this country. We don't want to be the first African country that gained independence and gave it back to their colonizers. We don't want to. And South Africa has got that potential to do that rubbish. Because South Africa will disappoint you for days, eh? South African people, I don't know what happens when they get to the ballot. I don't know what spirit gets into them and they just vote for CAC. That's what South Africans are doing. But I've got faith in my African brothers, my woke, black conscious brothers, that they can see which political party is actually there for them. And if we eliminate the African National Congress from the equation, there's only one. Let's stop beating around the bush. You can vote for building one Africa, you're wasting your vote. You can vote for Action SA, you know. But when we talk about the larger scheme of things, ruling the country, those two parties will never rule the country next year. Anyway, we don't know what will happen in the future, because like I said, South African they can disappoint you for days. One thing for sure, when the elections are free and fair, 2024, the ANC will not see 51%. No, I disagree. And now let's listen for the last time to this old confused colored man speaking about the fights of black people killing black people in Africa.
South Africa has never been united. Never. Africa has a history of warlords, of Hutsis killing Tutsis, murders. Kenya, Uganda, all over. They're still doing it. Eritrea. Black killing black. Black violence against black. Warlords. Africa is not a nation that says we love each other. Where does that come from? Show me one African state to the north of us, including Zimbabwe, where blacks haven't killed blacks by the hundreds of thousands for political power. There isn't one. They're still fighting and dying. We're trying to say, we didn't say we want to have secession and break away. But South Africa was the creation of a colonial power. We were 4 countries.
Mr. Maria.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is true. The history of the world has always been about war. It is true that the history in Africa has got an element of war. One kind fighting another kind, or the same kind fighting each other, engaging in war for minerals, for land, for differences in views. But I will always say that I want you guys to listen very carefully to me. I've got issues with my younger brother in terms of alcohol abuse and everything. I can fight my brother from the day he is born until the day he dies. He's my brother. I'm speaking now from African to African. Because why? I want him to be a better person. I love him. That's why I'm fighting him. But come the day, a person who's not part of my family try to come and try to fight my brother, that's the day when me and my brother will unite and moor you. We'll beat you up. And my brother is a giant, by the way. Let me see if I can get a picture and post it here. My brother is a giant. My younger brother is a beast of a human being. I'm Tsonga, so we Tsonga guys, we don't play. And I'm not a short guy by any stretch of an imagination. But my brother is a beast. In fact, I'm the shortest at home. It breaks my heart. Back to the topic. Africans have been fighting Africans. Yes, we don't dispute that fact. It's a fact. But we are saying when you come from outside with the even different pigmentation, try to fight us, then that's when we have a problem. Violence is not just violence. Every family has got problems. Every culture, every tradition have got problems. But don't come from outside that culture and tradition and family and try to fight. And when you fight us, you say, oh, but you guys have been fighting all along. What's wrong with me killing you guys? No, you're not part of the family. We're trying to solve our family problems as it is. So we've got a fighting problem already. So we don't want you to come and add. So that's the type of mentality that most coloreds and white people reason, that you guys have been fighting. So what's wrong with us killing you? No. We're trying to solve our problems here as a family. And we're not coming to your family trying to fight you and kill you. We're leaving you alone. So leave us alone to solve this thing with our Zulu and Xhosa brothers. Shona, our Igbo brothers, let us fight. It's not a problem. We are Africans. We'll sort it. In fact, we were doing very well before you came. You remember when they came here, the white settlers in the 60s, in the early 60th century, they said, we are surprised. Africa has no prison. The reason why Africa had no prison is because Africans knew how to solve disputes. We knew how to discipline each other. So in that discipline, yes, there is going to be fight. Yes, there is going to be killings. Of course, there is going to be. But don't you dare come from wherever you come from and try to tell us that we've been fighting each other. Now you can come and kill us also. Hell no. In fact, you're not only killing us, you want to take our land. That is not enough. Now you want to take our surnames. You want to take our bloodline. You want to change our surnames, like these colors that are confused with Afrikaner surnames, speaking the Afrikaner tongue. You were separated from your fathers. That's why your mothers, because they are weak in nature, in terms of the physical nature, they could not fight the white Buza out. They took their language. They were cleaners in the farms, getting raped. You understand? The fathers were taken to another land to go and mine in Northern Cape, in Kimberley mines, the diamond mines, everywhere. Everywhere in South Africa. Some put on boats and taken overseas. They took the father figure out of the equation of a black family. And then they raped the mother, gave it a new child. And now they're acting as if they are the holiest of the holiest people. They can run our country better. They cannot beat us on the ballot paper. Now they want to come with other excuses that they are running the Western Cape better. If you're running they say the Western Cape is the best governed province in South Africa. Okay, then continue. So what are you complaining about? If the Western Cape has got the highest shacks, informal settlement in Africa, not in South Africa, in Africa. When we talk about shacks, we're not talking about the what you call township. The biggest township is Soweto. But when it comes to poor people staying in shacks, the Western Cape is number one. Is Khayelitsha, Gugulethu. Pure rubbish. The crime in the Western Cape is hitting the roof. They've got areas that are number one meta capitals, cities in South Africa. But no, they're running the province better than the ANC. No, it's only a radius of about 10 kilometers in Cape Town, each direction. That is the only place that is functioning well in South Africa. And that is the mother city because of the business and everything that's there. That's why they must move parliament from that place. So we can see how they're going to operate. As long as you keep on voting for these white fucks, we're going to take the privileges that we have left in the Western Cape for so long. We are tired of you Western Cape people. Now you want independence from the rest of South Africa. Pure rubbish. If you're new to this channel, please consider to subscribe. It's your boy King053, Mr. Easy Imali Ening. I appreciate you. Let me just finish this video with Miriam Makeba on the white mentality. Just listen to what Miriam Makeba said. See you on the next one.
I know that my people were there. We don't write our history. It has always been handed down to us orally by our elders. Of course, the white man came and he writes history. In fact, you don't know anything about any place until the white man gets there. Like my husband always says, it's like saying, well, until the white man comes to any place, nothing lives. It's only when he comes and say, boof, I've discovered you, now you exist, which is ridiculous.